about my man Mark Sanchez, because I'm a Sanchez fan. Big time. And I'm certainly not going to leave him in the wilderness when he goes through a little bit of tough stuff. The incident, like, I'm not going to sit here like and say like I got a ton of new information, right? Like, if you guys don't know, Mark Sanchez this weekend involved in an altercation with a grease truck driver, somebody who was changing over the grease at the hotel, the Westin, where Sanchez was staying. And Sanchez was just out of it, and he wouldn't let the guy park, and he was charged ultimately with public intoxication and also assault because, this guy ended up stabbing Mark Sanchez, a 69-year-old grease truck driver, because he was fearing for like his life. This is according to the guy. Now, we haven't heard Sanchez say anything except for the statement to police so far was like he doesn't remember anything. And, by all accounts, this is like, this doesn't have to be about an arrest. It can be about a reckoning, really. If this is what it could be, right, for Sanchez. Like, this is not a good look. Like, by all accounts, he crossed the line. Like, you don't end up stabbed, drunk, and arrested because you were minding your business most of the time, right? And so, that is the situation I think that Sanchez is faced with. And so the one thing I'll say, and this is all I want to say about this because I can lend a little perspective to it, if this is only Mark Sanchez knows, because I had heard when I got a lot of, obviously, I know people who work for the Eagles and, around Philly, like Mark Sanchez was a man about town when he was with the Eagles. I know that. And it wasn't like a bad guy. He had a good reputation, but like he liked to go out and have fun. Clearly on, I guess it was Friday night into Saturday morning, like he was out like doing whatever. And I'm sure the idea at the beginning was I'm going to have some fun. And if the intoxication stuff is clear and he's as out of it or was as out of it as it sounds like he was, again, I don't know. Like legit, somebody could have put something in his drink. Like there's so much we don't know. But if this is what I think it is, right? A guy who started his night having a few drinks and then this is the end of it, like it might be time, if nothing, at the very least, a little self-reflection. And so as bad as this looks right now, right, on October 6th, this could be the start of something beautiful for Sanchez and for the people around him, truthfully. Like I would tell anybody, like if Sanchez was my buddy and he called me this morning, right, and he was like, I don't know what to do, but I think like, drinking could have something to do with this, or substance could have something to do with this. I would be like, you called the right guy. Because if people want to keep drinking, that's their business. But if you want to stop, that's kind of my business, being sober for a long time. We're down on this right now. This is as dark as it's going to get. And I hope he's getting the support that he needs. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying that the 69-year-old truck driver, like that experience for him, if everything we've heard so far is true, that is a nightmare experience. Thank God that guy is alive and his condition is stable. But the ugliest of situations, my prediction on this, and you shouldn't make predictions on this, but is that Sanchez is going to own it. He's going to get his stuff together, and he is going to answer the call, right, to doing the next right thing. And if he does that, right, and maybe there is an issue with substance or alcohol or whatever, right? Because the behavior, I know that behavior, and that is like, that's like, hey, look, I've been there, but I just haven't been Mark Sanchez, so nobody gave a shit, And that's also something that's unfortunate about this. Like, you're held to a higher standard, unfortunately. Like a guy like Mark Sanchez doesn't get to make the mistakes that I got to make, below the radar. So I'm thinking about that whole situation, and it's sad and it's ugly and it's dark, but I do believe there could be a silver lining here. Because if Mark Sanchez does what he needs to do to turn his deal around, if it is what I think it is, which it might not be, somebody might have put something in his drink, but if he does do that, it will not only affect him tenfold, it'll affect the people around him tenfold. And then all of a sudden he's somebody out there like a year from now that people are like, wow, Sanchez, what an inspiration. That's all I'm saying. I mean, on the other side of that, you have, God bless Johnny Manziel for all the memories, but just seeing him at that Vanderbilt Alabama game over the weekend. I'm just like, that guy doesn't look well, but what?